Unmute. Okay, correct. Hello. Not too late. True. True. No, we're not just going to be talking about Tim Pool. Tim Pool is actually the least of what I want to talk about. I just thought it was hilarious that he rage quit. But that's the least we're going to be talking about. We're also going to be talking about Smeritandin. We're also going to be talking about Smeritandin, and we're also going to be talking about and how they're Laura Loomer. It's not just Smeritandin, you guys. We're going to be talking about the Laura Loomer Democrats, the rise of the Laura Loomer Democrats, and how they're literally siding with Laura Loomer and Nick Fuentes in order to hate on Hassan. So in order to hate on Hassan, no, it's amazing. It's amazing. So in order to hate on Hassan, they're siding with Laura Loomer and Nick Fuentes. No, it's amazing. And then also, we're going to talk about Hakeem Jeffries saying he's against Medicare for all. And then the question becomes, what are you doing? Not a single person who has been coming for me over the fact that I oppose Hakeem Jeffries as speaker has explained to me or even bothered to explain or try to explain or even come up with something as to why they support him as speaker. What makes him a leader? What is it that you're supporting that makes him a leader? It's not that he keeps the caucus in line. He doesn't. It's not that he keeps the Democratic caucus in line. He doesn't. And he doesn't support any progressive policy. And he supports the genocide in Gaza. What is it? Sneera works too. That's really funny, Holly. You're right. Sneera. Ooh. No, but it's not though, because that's the thing. When we say all the time that Democrats rather side with fascists than the left, that's what we mean. That's what we mean when we say that. I know, Brandon. Me too. I'm nervous too. Florida is a big day. Hey, Boney. How's it going? Everybody, shout out to Boney. The best mod has entered the chat. Yes. Yes. Let's go. Yeah, but here's the problem. Here's the problem with that, which is why I get so pissed about people saying they're going to support Hakeem Jeffries. He doesn't even support progressive policy here. So even if you are one of those people that says that you don't give a shit about the genocide in Gaza because we have to focus on America, we have to focus at home, he doesn't support any of that. He doesn't. That's what we're going to talk about today. He doesn't support Medicare for all. He doesn't support a living wage. He doesn't support any of the progressive policy that people who are here who will use the genocide in Gaza as an excuse not to care. Or, I mean, I'm sorry, using here, like focusing on America as an excuse not to care about the genocide in Gaza and our tax dollars, which absolutely does affect you here. Because if you're using the money to send bombs to Israel, then you're not using the money here. But also, so that's number one. That's number one. But again, even if you are one of those people that's like, we have to focus on here, it's like, but he's not. But he's not. He doesn't support policy here, progressive policy here. On top of that, he won't even keep his caucus in line. He doesn't even get his caucus to vote all the same way. At the very least, Nancy Pelosi did that. He doesn't do that. He lets them vote with the Republicans all the time. Thanks for the silver star. Thanks, Abe. I appreciate it. What I think is funny about how full of shit the Democratic Party is, and we know this, we say it all the time, is that they pretend to care so much about Black people and about anti-Blackness and about Black representation. Oh, all the time. They love it. They love it. They love it. What about Black people? What about Black representation? Meanwhile, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who is so fucking corrupt, OMG, one of the OG corrupt Democratic hacks in the party, okay? Is running, carpetbags her way into a Black district and is running against a Black, gay, Jewish man who is progressive, and they're smearing him 8 ways to Sunday, and she's getting endorsements from other quote unquote like progressive people. What? You're so full of shit. They're so full of shit. I just can't. This is why you are dismissed with your fucking fake concern about Black representation and fucking Black, we care so much about Black people and we care so much about queer people. And really? So why aren't you saying anything about this? Why are you letting this carpetbagging hack come in here and run in a district that she has no business running in? Yeah, I didn't think so. You guys are fucking full of shit. It's like it's so embarrassing. Eggie, come here, Eggie. Where'd you go? It's just so embarrassing. Yeah, so yes, I did tell people that I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do a live today because I didn't know if I was going to get home in time, but we did get home very late last night. So that's why I'm doing it today. But you guys, it's crazy because it's amazing how like my sleep schedule can be so thrown, or that like I wake up so much later than the average person, that like I woke up today at like 12:45. Yesterday, by the time we were already over, the funeral service was over by 11:15. We were already at the post like event. I don't know what you call that when you like go to celebrate somebody's life at like a banquet or whatever after a funeral. Like that was already halfway through at 1, which is like when I even barely am getting up. It's crazy. I had to get up at 7 last night, 6:45 or 6:45 yesterday morning. It was crazy. It's just crazy how like crazy my sleep schedule is, because like having to wake up at 6:45 and be out the door by 7:30. I don't even go to bed often until 4:30, till 5. Like it was just crazy. It felt weird. Being like, oh my gosh, everything is already over and people are going home or like going to the banquet. It's 11:30. I'm usually not even awake yet. I take melatonin. I do take melatonin. I'm just a night person. I accept it now. I'm starting to accept it. I'm just a night person. It's probably why I always struggle to be late for work. Even though I used to work at this job where we didn't open till 10. I didn't even have to be there till 10. But I literally was always late at so many of these jobs because I would struggle so much to get up. Anyway, we have a lot to talk about today. Which is why I made some coffee. How come nobody ever asked if Malcolm X and Martin Luther King were deleted under LBJ Democratic administration and then immediately Black people become Democrats to this day? I mean, I think people do acknowledge that. I think people do know that. Like you're implying like more of like a quid pro quo, but I think a lot of people acknowledge that like there was obviously an attempt, not just with them, but through social conditioning and social engineering to diffuse and destroy the Black radical movement. And then there was also the Civil Rights Act, which brought a lot of Black people into the party. I mean, a lot of Black people probably wouldn't be Democrats if the Democratic Party did not have such a stranglehold on the Black community. And that's partially because the Republicans are just so disgustingly racist and openly hostile to Black people. Otherwise, there would be a lot more Black Republicans. But when you listen to the way that they talk about Black people, there isn't really a party for them to go to when the Republican Party is so outwardly hostile to Black people. Will openly say, right, but I do think that more Black people would be Republicans. A lot of Black people are very conservative. And I think that more of them would be Republicans if it wasn't such an openly hostile place for them. You look at Nick Shirley and all of those people, and that one Fed op, that one Zionist op, Jake Lang, putting out signs literally with the N-word with the hard R on it. You listen to people who love Nick Fuentes talk about how all Black people should be in jail, and how actually the real mistake was not in the Civil War, was not freeing them, but it wasn't sending them back to Africa, getting rid of them from the country completely. That is how a lot of Republicans feel about Black people. They literally hate them. That's why a lot of Black people are Republicans, not because the Democratic Party is great. Although I do think a lot of older Black people just have like a nostalgia for them, and then, you pass that down. But it's because the Republicans make it so inhospitable, so literally physically hostile, and make it clear that they're not wanted there. Did you see the Candace versus Sniz with PBD? Oh, was that embarrassing beta guy? I saw a couple tweets about it. I was honestly not on Twitter that much this weekend when I usually am, because of the fact that there was a lot of like family stuff happening. So in my husband's family, so we were out of town. And so I didn't see the debate, but I did see that they did debate. And I saw one clip, and it was actually so embarrassing for that beta guy. That doesn't surprise me at all, if that's true. I'll have to double fact check that. But if that's true, it doesn't surprise me at all. It's what we talk about all the time. There's literally endless amounts of money on the right for propaganda. They will pour hundreds of millions, billions of dollars into their propaganda, even if they take a financial loss. Now, Elon Musk is not going to take a financial loss for this, but even we've talked about, Ben Shapiro before has taken losses on his show because of his stances on the Israeli regime, and they don't care. The propaganda is the point. Yeah, no, that guy's not smart at all. He is such a beta. And honestly, I just saw that one clip, and it was actually humiliating and embarrassing. He was acting like he won, but he didn't know anything about the case. How are you debating about the Charlie Kirk assassination, and you don't even know what the charges are? Really? You didn't do the most basic of prep? That's embarrassing. And yes, she did call him out on this in the clip that I saw, which is a tactic that people do use a lot of debates, especially right-wingers and Zionists. Zionists actually are the masters of it. Zionists are the masters of it. They invented this, which is the constant, not just filibuster, but talking over somebody so that they can't get a word in edgewise when you're losing a debate. That's what he was doing. She was making a point. He just kept talking over. People do that who are losing debates all the time, especially if you ever watch Piers Morgan's debates. That's what the Zionists always do on the panel. They just basically machine gun over the person rhetorically in order to get them not to be able to talk. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab my coffee and we're gonna get into it. Please let me just go through my spiel really quick. Thank you so much, Boney, for throwing that up. It is your support that helps this channel. Even if you want to send me a hate comment. Like I just saw this clown who is too much of a coward to put their own profile picture up. Say your haircut suits your face, ugly, but they first spelled it wrong. So LOL, they can't spell. But even if you're going to send a comment like that, first of all, I'm using that as an example to say, usually I don't respond to troll comments unless you send money. So usually right wingers and Zionists who come into my comments to insult me, they're always cheap and they never send super chats. That will be the last comment I read about that, just to use it as an example. If you're an embarrassing MAGA or Zionist right winger, and you come in to send pathetic comments insulting me or trying to trigger whatever, you will be ignored unless there's money attached to it. You don't get to come in here and troll like a loser and be cheap. That's not a thing here. That's not a thing. If you're going to come in and be a loser and troll, let's see some money. Thank you. Okay. So even if you're a loser and you want to come in just to troll on a Sunday, I'm not reading it unless there's money attached to it. So that's number one. But also, if you do want to support my work, even if you're a troll, you can support me by tipping me on Venmo or Cash App, which I love. You can also support me by becoming a member on Ko-Fi or on Patreon, which is just pledging monthly support. Same way is becoming a member on YouTube, a channel member, and or a member on Twitch. And those are great ways also to support my content. Another great way to support my content is by sending super chats during the stream, sending gifts during the stream. I always set super chat goals for the streams, every stream, because it helps the channel, it helps me, it helps the content, it helps the algorithm get more seen. It helps the channel get more seen in the algorithm as well as the live. So sending super chats really helps, and that's why I set goals every time I stream. So thank you in advance to everybody who sends super chats during this stream. You can also send gifts and jewels. It's not like the same as a super chat, but it still like helps the channel. And also liking and a way to support my content and my work that does not cost money. If you can't, it's just liking the stream, sharing the stream, subscribing to the channel, and also watching my content all the way through, as well as interacting with it, because that's really what YouTube counts as far as like how well like a video does depends on watch time. So just for one example of just for like one example of like a video that if you watch a video all the way through, it actually helps the channel and helps the content. Just watching it all the way through and interacting with, liking it, or commenting on it. My last video about Sephora opening a store in the regime did not do well. The watch time was really down. So what the fuck, Chuck? No, I'm kidding. But like that's a way to help, that you can help my channel and my content, support it for free. Also, please subscribe to all my channels, my other YouTube channel. All of my channels and content are in my link tree. Thank you, Boney. All of the content is in the link tree except for up scrolled, which you can find here. So thank you so much. And also really quick, thank you so much. I see somebody sent me a trophy cake. Thank you, Humble Monk, for the trophy cake. I appreciate it. Also, if you're a member, make sure to use those Melvin and Eggy emojis. I love to see it. We love to see it, fam. Speaking of that, okay, so that's the spiel. Pretty sure I said all of it. Pretty sure that's all of it. Okay, so let's get into it as soon as I grab my coffee. I'm going to go grab my coffee. While I do, I'm going to leave it on the egg cam. Thank you so much, Comrade Cranky, for the super chat. I wake up every day on this orbiting madhouse, so why should I get up? For real, bro. For real. Honestly, relate. relate. I feel you. I feel that way sometimes too, honestly. Thank you for the super chat. Um, a lot of trolls for a Sunday. That's like pathetic because it's like if you're just gonna come in to troll, it's Sunday. It's beautiful. Go get a coffee. Like it's really nice out. Go on a walk. Like go to the dog park. Go get like an iced coffee. Go get a cold brew. Honestly, I wish I had made coffee last night for cold brew. I should have done that. I suppose I could do it now while we stream. This is Coffee Sunday. So I suppose I could do it today during the stream. I need to make the pour over ahead of time. I need to make the pour over ahead of time so it can be iced the next day. I love that guy's like, can I see half of your boob? People, guys who come in here comment on my content asking me to see my boobs. Does this look like a fucking OnlyFans chat to you? Get the fuck out of here. Go away. It's Sunday. It's Sunday. Some of you are so embarrassing. Some of you are such losers. Like it's literally nice out. Go to the dog park. Thank you for the treat, Cord. Thank you, Bodhi, for the super chat. If you're gonna troll, make sure you like the live and share the stream, and you could catch. Thank you, Bodhi. Yes. No, it's just actually embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing. It's like, please go outside. If you're going to write shit like that and be asking to see people's boobs, go to an OnlyFans channel, okay? Don't come here. I got my window open. It's a beautiful day today. It is really nice out. Like it's hot, but it's also really pretty out. Like it's a nice summer day and it's a nice Sunday. I don't know. You just got to imagine that somebody's life is really sad if they're spending their Sundays going into a chat of a streamer that they don't like just to talk shit or troll. Like that's embarrassing. Have a little self-respect. I could make cold brew today. The thing is about making cold brew is that you got to make it ahead of time. So if I'm going to do pour over, I mean, it's not necessarily exactly cold brew. It's more like just like iced coffee. But if I'm going to do it, I have to make it in my, what is that called? Carafe, the pour over thing? Is that called a carafe or carafe, whatever? But I have to do it ahead of time. And I kind of wish I honestly I done it last night because I'm really in the mood for iced coffee. I know. I saw that too. That was good. Mamdani put out a video where he was speaking Mandarin. Now, obviously, he doesn't pretend he can like speak it fluently, but he'll get the information from his team, and then to like make people feel more included, he will attempt and learn like the words he needs to say it. He did that with a bunch of different languages during the election, and it was a brilliant strategy. No, he's so good. He's so good. Like his talent is insane. He should run for president. People are like, yeah, but he wasn't born here. Who gives a fuck? Republicans ignore the rules all the time. So change the Constitution. Change it so people can run. Because if Mamdani ran, I swear he would win. That guy is like Zohran Mamdani is like a once in a generation political talent. Like he really is. Like every time I watch him, I'm like, holy shit, this guy is good. That's why they're all so obsessed with him. That's why they're so obsessed with hating him all the time, because they know how good he is. Like they see it. They're not stupid. That's why when they're like, oh, well, he couldn't run for president because he wasn't born here. It's like, okay, ask yourself with this. Since the fuck when have Republicans ever felt constrained by the rules? When have the Republicans ever felt constrained by the rules? Didn't Trump just sign an executive order trying to overturn birthright citizenship despite the fact that the Supreme Court already ruled on it? Like the Supreme Court already ruled against him, right? They already ruled against him. And then he pathetically tried to do another executive order. What? Thank you so much for the super chat, north of Chick, Korea. I used to live at NYC a long ago. Do you feel a difference? Absolutely. Absolutely. There is that. Thank you, by the way, for the super chat and the kind words. There's absolutely been a shift, not just a vibe shift. Literally, like, of course, there's been a vibe shift. Like, that is undeniable. Like, the way that everything feels is so different. But he's actually making like a material difference. Like, he put a rent freeze on. They said that he has gone after Amazon and made Amazon pay back a lot of shit already multiple times. He's about to open up the grocery stores, and there's already been a shift, they said, in some of the ways that the bureaucracy is handling claims because now they know he's mayor. He's also been going after slumlords, which has been so huge. Like, so huge. Like, if you live in New York City, you know slumlords are a big thing here. And him going out, but our mayors are always in the pocket of big real estate, so they never defend us. And Mamdani has totally flipped that on its head. That's why they hate him. That's why they're mad. Big mad. And not to mention the fact that he filled like how many potholes? Like he literally filled like thousands and thousands of potholes. The way that it was handled, the blizzard was really like the right wing was so mad they were trying to pretend that it wasn't going well. He handled it really well. Like they got that shit cleaned up quick. And I told you guys before the election when he won that I said that was actually really why they were afraid of him, was not because they were afraid that he was going to bankrupt the city or that he was going to do a bad job. No, they were afraid that he was going to be successful. That's actually why they were afraid. I said it before the election and it remains true. They were not afraid that he was going to do bad. They were afraid that he was going to be successful and that it would show the fact that you can be successful with these types of policies, and that when you actually govern on behalf of the people instead of just your corporate donors and the Zionists, that you can actually materially affect people's lives. And they didn't want that because not only would that show that it could work, but it would also put to shame the people before them that are do-nothing Democrats that always say there was nothing we could do. That was also what it was going to do, which is what they were afraid of. They were afraid that if he was successful in doing the things he was going to do, that they wouldn't be able to get away with anymore just going, oh, we couldn't do anything. We couldn't do anything. Because they understand that then people would start rightly saying, well, then why can Mamdani? Oh my gosh, I sound like the right wingers who can never say his name and the boomers who can never say his name. That they would be like, why can't, then why can Mamdani do it? Why can Mamdani do it? Oh, I gotta get a napkin. You know what's so funny to me is that it remains true that no matter every comment that I get, no matter every comment that I get and hate comment, there is some kind of pathology that needs to be studied about right wingers being upset about my mullet. Okay. That is a pathology that needs to be studied. I never get any more comments of things that right wingers get mad at me about than my haircut. There's obviously some type of misogyny in there because why are you mad at how I choose to cut my hair? Like they're literally mad over it all the time. They get so upset. Why is your hair like that? Why is your hair like that? Why is your hair like that? They get literally so fucking triggered and mad. And it's like, why? Why? Why do you care? I'm not your fucking bitch. I'm not your girlfriend. I'm not your fucking wife. I'm not your spouse. I'm not your partner. I'm not sucking your dick. What's your fucking problem? Why do you care about how my hair is cut? It's just amazing to me. It's amazing. They get so mad. You and your hair and your mullet. It's like, oh my gosh, you're so fucking embarrassing. It's a pathology that needs to be studied. Somebody needs to study that. Why do right wingers get so mad about a mullet? Because you think that my hair should be a certain way. You think because you guys are misogynists that people's hair, women and people who are AFAB or people who are non-binary and femme presenting, you think that them and women should have hair the way you think they should have. That everything should be for you. Well, I'm not trying to impress you, bitch. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what any of you think. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to date your lame ass. So why would I care what you think about my hair? Why would I care what you think about my hair? Literally, why would I care? I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to date you. Why would I give a fuck? Literally. So embarrassing. Thank you for the finger heart, Lady Gray. Thank you, North of Chick Korea, again for the super chat. I appreciate it. I work in catering in LA, worked for an event in City Council yesterday. They had a PowerPoint on sewer socialism. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I love that. Thanks for sharing that. I love that. Good. Let it spread. Let it spread. Let's go. Let it spread. Thank you. Well, yes, I love my hair. Obviously, if I didn't love my hair, I wouldn't keep cutting it like this. But like it's a bigger point on our society right now and in general that cis men feel that they have a right to go tell people and women how they should do their hair, how they should dress. It's only going to get worse because the misogyny in this country is just being aided and abetted and fed and rewarded. And that's fine. If you guys all want to be misogynist and like take dating advice from Nick Fuentes, who is single and I'm pretty sure not straight, allegedly. If that's who you want to take dating advice from, you be my guest. I'm thinking single and stay in that way. Because I'm married. I'm married, ho. I'm not on the market, so I don't give a fuck what any of you think. It's not even about that. But I'm saying for your own sake, if you guys are going to be incels, maybe stop taking dating advice on women from incel gay men. Because what the fuck? Nick Fuentes has literally never had a girlfriend. What the fuck does he know about women? But for real. But okay, keep taking the advice. Keep taking the advice from him and other incels who allegedly, I don't want to get sued, aren't even straight. But sure. I don't even think Top Goy is straight. I'm convinced. There is a huge swath of right wingers that I think are closeted, that I do not think are straight, that spend time giving advice to men about women. I don't think Top Goy is straight. I don't think Nick Fuentes is straight. I don't think Michael Knowles is straight. Top Goy is Andrew Tate, who blocked me because I made fun of him. If you're such a base misogynist, then why'd you block me? He literally blocked me on Twitter because I made fun of him. It's like, what happened? I thought you were such a big tough guy. I thought you were such a big tough guy who slaps women around. You don't care. But then like a little beta, he got upset that I made fun of him, so he blocked me. All right, let me just tell you something about me, okay? And I have always been this way. This has always been my personality. I have no problem making fun of you and men. I'm not one of these people that's going to go out of my way to like be mean to men for the sake of being mean to men. Like, no, I'm not like that. I'm not a man hater. I don't hate men. I just told you guys I'm fucking married, bro, to a cis man. But what I am saying is that I have no problem dragging you guys for filth if you're going to act like clowns. And yes, none of you know what you're talking about. You probably should be listening if you ever want to not be single to either women and what they want, or maybe a guy who actually is married and has a wife or has a successful relationship. Not these fucking losers that cosplay masculinity that are gay. Gay! Allegedly. Some people who are married to men still hate men. Okay, that's true, but I'm not one of them. I don't hate men. You know, one of the things I actually find very interesting about my community, because you don't see it a lot of communities are split completely like by gender lines. Like people's following will only be all women, or people's following will only be all men. My communities are split. They're even. Half are women, half are men. And about 1%, which is reflective of the population, are trans. 1 to 2%. And this actually is across my platforms. When I look at my analytics on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, one thing is consistent because they actually don't cross over. The people that follow me on TikTok are totally different, the community, than is here on YouTube, than is on Instagram. They're different communities. And one thing that has been consistent across my communities is that my following is actually evenly split amongst gender lines. So I have a lot of followers and people in my community that are both men and women and trans people. I don't have an all male audience or an all female audience or an all like only trans audience. Like, it's actually fairly even, which I am very happy. Like, I love that. I think it's great that I love that. And I think it's great that I've got a mixed audience throughout my different social media platforms. But it also tells me that that clearly this is not a space that men feel uncomfortable in. Because if I hated men and men felt uncomfortable in my space, then I wouldn't have so many male followers. Wait, what's the number one cause in the US for divorce? Did somebody say what it was? No, an example of a fucking loser is Andrew Wilson. That guy is so embarrassing. Getting slapped around by Candace Owens. Oh man, I bet that hurt because he's such a misogynist and he's racist. Getting slapped around by like a black woman like that, rhetorically, embarrassing for him. But again, he does what a lot of people do. I mean, I guess most people do this when they lose a debate badly. They just pretend they won. They just pretend they won. He was like, yeah, really put her in her place. It's like, you didn't do anything, actually. This was really embarrassing for you. You didn't do anything. You didn't know anything. Like, it was actually really embarrassing. But sure, but sure. Yeah, and it's embarrassing how many people are dragging him too, because as we all know, especially if we're talking specifically about YouTube, this space is dominated by men. The streaming world, the YouTube world, the Twitch, whatever debate world, it is totally dominated by men. So the fact that that this guy got absolutely destroyed. Again, I know I didn't watch the entire debate. I ain't reading all that, but I did watch a couple clips and it was humiliating for him. Like, absolutely embarrassing. Ah. I'm taking my teeth out if people are wondering what that is because I can't drink the coffee with them in. So I have to take them out, drink my coffee, put them back in. That's so good. I should be getting them fitted soon. No, I'm just going off of the debates. That I'm not saying that I don't even know, honestly, because I haven't been following. I don't follow Candace Owens like on YouTube, and I don't watch her like I follow her on Twitter, but I don't follow her content. So like I actually don't know what the substance is around certain aspects of the debate that they're having. I'm just going off of the pure debate itself, the performance and the clips and everything I saw. It was so embarrassing for him. Like, he didn't even know basic shit. He didn't even know what the charges were. That's embarrassing. My coffee needs a coffee. I know. It's so embarrassing. Oh my gosh. Gwenicide Paltrow. That's from that Gwenicide Paltrow thing. Yeah. I need a coffee refill, BRB. True. Okay, so one of the first things I said I was going to talk about was the Medicare for All thing. The Tim Pool thing is just to laugh at how embarrassing it was that he walked off, which is that he rage quit, which is so honestly not surprising. Not surprising at all. Tim Pool hates debating because he sucks at it. He sucks at it. Basically, Tim Pool never prepares. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't have evidence for anything. He's an anecdote king, which is really funny because a lot of times cis men will try to make fun of women and be like, oh, women can't debate. They don't know the facts and la, 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 la. But like, that's Tim Pool. Tim Pool never preps for anything. He never knows the facts on anything he's debating. He'll literally be like, oh, how do I know this? Well, a friend of mine said it. And like, if this were the Avengers, and like a friend of mine actually like one time brought up that like he knew a guy that like they had a cat litter box in his school. Evidence. Like, it's so embarrassing. If you're going to make a claim for something like that, especially if you're going to be a debate bro in the debate podcast scene or circuit, you should know some facts. But he, like a girl, like a little bitch, and I shouldn't even insult girls like that, is like, well, I don't have any evidence for any of my claims that I'm making, but I did have a friend that said that they put a litter box in their kid's school, so it's trans. That's literally Tim Pool. That's literally his whole shtick. That's why he doesn't like debating, because he sucks at it and he always gets his ass kicked. So am I surprised that he rage quit? That he rage quit and walked off of the Jubilee set when somebody made fun of him? No, I'm not. Hey, Melena, good to see you. Yes, we're having coffee Sunday here. Boney being a great mod, keeping the trolls out, keeping the misogynists out, who for some reason think that their time is better spent trolling my chat on a beautiful Sunday than it is going outside and like going to the park. Which, by the way, really shout out to Boney for being the best mod, because it is always so felt to me. Like, Boney, this is just a compliment to Boney. Yes! Sushi with the boys! Poker and sushi with the boys! No! This is what I'm talking. Okay. Because, what's his name? Tim Pool is like a 15-year-old skater boy. So he has like a giant skate park at his compound, and he's always trying to like show off that like he was a skater boy or whatever. So he got mad when Emma Vigeland went on his show. I'm telling people the backstory to this. He got mad when Emma Vigeland went on his show because he wanted to debate her, lost the debate, and then got mad that she didn't want to take a tour of his skate park and get sushi with the boys. First of all, who wants to get sushi in a landlocked state? I'm not even a seafood person. I don't like seafood, but my sisters love seafood. And they were like, why would anybody want to get sushi in a landlocked state? What? But like the fact that like he wanted to like hate on her and debate her, but then was mad that she didn't want to see a stupid skate park. Nobody gives a fuck. Literally nobody gives a fuck. So that was hilarious. But then also he's embarrassing too, because so I'm not surprised he walked off. But what I was going to say was my shout out to Boney is that Boney is already a really great mod. Very, very consistent, very awesome. But it has a ramp. He wants to show her his skate tricks. He can do he was like bragging about his skateboarding. He's like, I can do a triple whatever, something. I was like, I don't give a fuck, bro. Nobody gives a fuck. I don't skate. I never skated. When I was in school and I was friends with the boys who were skaters, I didn't give a fuck then. I don't give a fuck now. I could care less. No one cares. Well, in my short stint, because I wasn't in school a lot when I was growing up, but in my short stint when I was in school, I hung out with a lot of the boys who were skaters, and I didn't give a fuck. You know what I cared about? You know what I did with the skater boys in my school? Do you know what I did with the skater boys at my school? Other girls would try to impress the skater boys by trying to pretend they would skate too, in order to try to impress the guys. What I did is I invited them over to my house so that I could make them participate in my Pepsi commercial, because I wanted to do a Pepsi commercial reenacting Britney Spears. So I wanted the boys to come over and reenact my Pepsi commercial with me. because I did not give a fuck about the skating. I wanted to do my Britney Spears Pepsi commercial. I didn't care then. I don't care now. Literally though. But like actually. So like yes, Tim Pool is a dork. I'm so sorry. Tim Pool is the kind of guy that if I had met him in real life, I would just torment him. I would probably shit on him all the time because not like in a cruel way, but like, joking bullying way. Cause he's like, to me, he's a huge fucking dork. Huge fucking dork. But he doesn't debate because I think he knows a lot of people know that. I always have. I always have, Milena. I always have. And I would totally like troll on people like Tim Pool who would like try to be cool. Like I know him. I can see who he is. He's a millennial like me. We probably were in school around the same time. And I like look at him and I'm like, "No, you were a big dork. I can tell you're still a big dork." And I probably would have made fun of you. But here's the thing. That's why he doesn't debate because he sucks at it and people are going to see through him. And so then he rage quits. We're only going to watch the part where he rage quits because Jubilee are trash. Yeah, that's right, Jubilee. You suck. Thank you for the super chat, Boney. He was a that's literally though, literally. Sushi with the boys. Also, of course, people like him are going to say that Candace Owens lost the debate. He like crashed out on Candace Owens and called her the C word. Yes, but he used to also be more popular because he did the why I left the left shtick, which is very, very profitable on the right. But like once people know enough that like you're full of it and you're actually just a right winger, it eventually loses its appeal and then people move on. Yes, but you do have an age range, but it's 15 years. It's a 15-year age window. So that's why I say millennial, because I can say without saying my actual age. Millennial is 1980 to 1997. So, or 97 or 96. So, oh, I keep missing to get back to my compliment of Boney, is what I'm trying to say. Um, exactly. So why would people need to listen to him? That's why the why I left the left griff only lasts for so long. It's very profitable to the right, but eventually when they just go full mask off right winger and there's no plausible deniability, then why would people listen to them? They can just go to the actual right wingers. But my compliment to Boney was this that I was going to say that I can always tell Boney is a great mod, does an excellent job, always is on top of everything. And I can always tell when Boney is not here because the chat's out of hand. So Boney keeps things clean in here. Like when Boney occasionally is not here, and Boney's very consistent. So shout out to you, Boney. But when Boney is occasionally not here, it's evident. It's clear because the chat gets so out of hand. So shout out to Boney. Yeah, so I'm gonna play the clip of Tim Pool walking off and rage quitting, but I can only play that short clip from Twitter because if you try to watch Jubilee, like on YouTube, if you try to watch their stream, they'll straight up get your stream taken down. They won't just demonetize it, they'll get your stream taken down for copyright. They suck. They suck. which I don't even know how they're allowed to do. How are they allowed to do that? Like, what about fair use? Like, what about fair use? I don't even understand how they're allowed to do that. True. True. All right, so let's watch this clip first. We're going to watch the clip and then we're going to watch the like I said, I would love to watch the whole thing or at least significant parts of it, but unfortunately we can't because Jubilee are cheapskates and they won't let you stream their shit, which again, I don't even understand how that's allowed. Like, what happened to fair use? I thought people won fair use cases. Didn't Ethan Decline set a precedent by winning a fair use case on YouTube? So I don't even understand how they're allowed to do that. How they're allowed to like not let you watch their shit. If anybody knows, let me know. This is true. They are losing popularity worldwide, which is why people really actually need to triple down on talking about it and about educating themselves and keeping their antennas up. Because they are losing worldwide, they are finding new ways to conduct cyber warfare and social warfare. And by that I mean there was a article that recently came out saying that they are what is the thing I'm looking for? They are creating. No, guys, this is important. I know this isn't in the stream, but the guy bringing this up just made me think of this. This is important. They are right now creating fake think tanks, which is where a lot of information, we all know how like the AI models work, right? Like they basically scrape all the data that exists on the internet and then they feed it through their AI models. And that's the information that is given back to you as like factual or credible. Right now, the Israeli regime is creating fake websites, fake think tanks, fake universities, and then they're populating that with endless amounts of content so that it will go through the GPT models, the large language models, and give that information that Israel wants us to have through the AI models, through the chatbots. That's what's happening right now. They are feeding AI with fake think tanks, fake web pages, bullshit outlets, so that all of those will go into the large language models and then the information that they want out there goes out. So really people need to be aware of that. Another thing people really need to be aware of, and again, if any of us talk about the Israeli regime, or even if you're not a content creator, you don't talk about it, you obviously talk about it as far as what you share and what you tell your friends and your family. We have to double down and triple down on that. Because they are. Like, don't think that because they lost public opinion that they're just going to go away. No, they're not going to go away. They're going to triple down. They're going to amp it up. They're going to find more ways to suppress speech and to suppress your freedom of expression. And they're going to find other and creative ways to get into the algorithm to try to control things and to try to repair their image. Not only are they doing that with the large language models, they're also doing it with their paid creators. In 2025, fiscal year 2025, they spent a billion on propaganda, including paying creators. Like the Cootermonger. They're now paying OnlyFans creators to do sexually suggestive content on behalf of the Israeli regime. Literally. That is part of the Hasbara budget. And also, they bought TikTok, and that is very clear in the way that TikTok content is being conducted now. What you're seeing in the algorithm, what you're not seeing in the algorithm. And also, another thing that's happening, and people should be aware of this too. In fact, I'm going to pull his video up so you can see it because he does a better job of explaining it. My mutual on TikTok just put out a video talking about the way that foreign governments, which again is actually illegal. Well, what is illegal if you don't care? You know, what is really illegal anyway if you don't care and you just break the law anyway? Like a lot of things the Trump administration are doing are illegal. They don't care. They're doing it anyway. A lot of things that the Trump administration is unconstitutional. They don't care. They're doing it anyway. So let's go to this new thing that the Treasury Department is allowing the Israeli lobby to do that, yes, it is illegal, and yes, it is unconstitutional. They're doing it anyway. Okay, wait, hold on. Wally Rashid, who is somebody that, like, if you're not following him on TikTok, you definitely should. He makes a lot of really good content. He is Palestinian himself. His family is from the occupied West Bank. Okay. So just listen to this. Just listen to this. This is important, and you need to be aware of it as an American, as, I don't know, anybody in the world, you should be aware of it. They are literally doing something now to allow the Israeli lobby to spend money in ways that have previously not been allowed. Because if you don't have to disclose who's giving you money, then foreign governments can interfere in your elections. You can't do anything about it. Remember Russiagate? Remember how hysterical they all were about Russiagate? What was the premise behind Russiagate and the Russiagate hysteria? The premise was that a foreign government was meddling in our elections. That was the whole premise. That was the whole why it was a big deal. The problem with it was that a foreign government was meddling in our elections. So tell me why our Treasury Department under the Trump administration is now going to allow people and or entities from foreign countries and governments to spend money in our elections and not disclose where it's coming from. Which, again, is unconstitutional and illegal, but listen to this.
If you haven't heard what the Treasury Department announced today, it's pretty concerning. Take a listen to this. You might have seen the Treasury Department recently announced that FinCEN, the Financial Crimes Investigation Network, is no longer requiring U.S. companies to report who owns their companies. This is why this is so concerning, and I previously published an investigation on this a couple of weeks ago. The fine print says any domestic reporting companies are exempt from this, meaning that if you're foreign nationals and you register a company in Delaware and then fund super PACs in U.S. elections, which is illegal, there's no way to know. 2 weeks ago, AIPAC, the Israel lobby, released their lobbying disclosure form showing that they were lobbying the Repealing Big Brother Overreach Act. They weren't just lobbying Congress, they were lobbying the Department of Treasury, the Department of State. But why would AIPAC, the Israel lobby, be interested in repealing a money laundering law? Well, it's pretty obvious. Now Israelis can go ahead and donate to the AIPAC PAC through a shell company, and it's completely under the radar. If they really cared about making things easier for U.S. small business owners, all they needed to do was add one line item stating that foreign nationals are still required to register through FinCEN whether or not they register a domestic U.S. company. It wasn't like there weren't a lot of articles being published telling the government to do exactly that. They just simply ignored it. If you want to read my full article on this, you can do so by going to votelog.org. If you haven't heard what the Treasury Department announced today, it's pretty concerning. Take a listen.
So So Wally, again, like if you're not following him, you definitely should. He does a lot of really good work. I think he said it was called VoteLog. They're doing a lot of good work over there too. So this entire website that he created is tracking everything happening on in Palestine and what the Israeli regime is doing in our government. Thank you, Bonnie, for throwing that up. If you are not already following him, and that you absolutely should, because we all need to be aware. of what's happening. You know, the whole TikTok thing obviously became a huge deal because people love TikTok. So people were aware of it, but they're doing shit like this all the time. So if you are not following this, you should. Hello from Montana. Hey. One of these days, I want to do a panel with one of my subscribers from every state. One of these days, I want to do like a panel, almost like a focus group. I think that'd be really fun. Do like a focus group Zoom with one person from each state in the Zoom and do like a focus group. I feel like that would be fun. But that's crazy, right? That is insane. Like, that's so crazy. All right, let's watch the Tim Pool clip. No, somebody put something about the fair use thing earlier that I clicked on really quick, but then I wanted to come back to it. I don't remember. It's okay. Hey, thanks for the GOAT trophy. Thank you. GOAT trophy. That one's my favorite jewel. I know. It's so embarrassing. It's like 18 levels of hackery. Thank you so much for the super chat, Pseudo. Blakely, I hope you're doing okay. You're an amazing person. I'm glad we have you on our side. Oh, that's really sweet. Thank you. There's nothing nicer than when somebody sends a super chat with a compliment. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Obviously, I love when people send super chats, but it's even nicer when somebody sends a super chat and then says something really nice. Because usually, which I obviously expect and you know, enjoy and don't mind, usually it's comments or statements or questions or even insults. But you know, those are always nice. Thank you. Thank you, Pseudo. All right, let's watch this Tim Pool clip really quick. And again, I think it should be fine because it's just a short clip on Twitter. It's not like actually going and watching their stream. Thanks, Don. I appreciate that. Yes, go trophy. Ah. Not the first time Tim Pool is pulled out in 45 seconds. Oh, that's funny. Thank you for that, Real Britain. That was funny. Yeah, first of all, the fact that Jubilee is referring to Tim Pool as a moderate, LOL. 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 Moderate. I'm so sorry. You're not serious. You're not serious. That's so embarrassing. But they are embarrassing. It's just funny to pull clips from occasionally, but they are really embarrassing. It's a lot of hackery over there. It's a lot of hackery. Wait. I thought I pulled the clip. Thank you for the unk alert. Thank you for the super chat, Boney. In the wise words of Socrates, let's get copyright. Hey, Mr. Mad Cow, something nice? LOL. It's so good to see you, Mr. Mad Cow. I haven't seen you in forever. It's so nice seeing you. I hope you're well. I hope you're well. Miss you around here. Thanks for the unk alert, Trock. I thought I had pulled the Tim Pool clip. I guess I didn't. Hold on. Like, I thought I had saved it, so I wasn't, like, looking for it. Yes! Okay, this is it. Also, Jubilee is embarrassing because they literally just cycle the same people over and over again. Like, it's not even interesting in the sense that, like, they bring other people in to, like, debate that aren't used to it or whatever that would make it, like, a little bit more fun. No, they literally have, like, a staff. Like, this guy's at every debate. Like, Z Cohen, who's, like, some fucking hack that people are always surprised that she's, like, a racist Zionist hack who runs the, like, Charlie Kirk, anti-Charlie Kirk, anti-Turning Point thing, the Unfuck America tour. And she's, like, totally a hack, and she's, like, friends with Destiny, and literally was talking about how she missed Charlie Kirk and palling around with that one racist Jake Lane guy, and people always act shocked by the fact that she's racist and the fact that she's Islamophobic. Like, everybody always acts shocked that she's a hack. She's, like, a regular on there. Yeah, it's, like, embarrassing. Okay, so we're just going to watch this clip. I'm going to heat up my coffee.
That have the word Civil War in it.
Correct.
With big fonts on the front.
They sure do.
So why is that? It's sensationalist. It's easy to get clicks.
I like how he acts like he's so badass. It's like, no, you know why we're probably not ever going to have a civil war like that? First of all, we have too big of a police state. Let's just be real about this. We have too big of a police state. The only time that and too big of a surveillance state for that to happen. But also, it is much more likely that a slow cessation happens. A financial cessation happens, which I honestly don't even think is going to happen either, because the red states can't survive without the blue states. It's all fun and games, and we're going to secede from the U.S. until the red states realize that they exist, because many of their economies are on life support from the blue states. So that's also not going to happen. There's some practical realities that just are going to prevent that from happening. We'll be in a cold civil war, which we're already in. We're in a cold civil war, and we have been. But there will never be, I don't think, an actual, like, war, because number one, if the Iran war is showing us anything, teaching us anything, is that there are limits to military power. There are limits to military power. And a lot of times, financial warfare, economic warfare can be more effective. Boycotts, and again, even if they decided they wanted to have some type of cessation from our current union, that would more so look like something financial. Boycotts, technological advancements, technological cessation, technological boycotts. Like, it's going to look more like that. And we're already in a cold civil war. But again, it wouldn't happen the way it happened the first time anyway, because back in the times of the Civil War, we didn't live in a surveillance and police state like we do now. No, that shit would get crushed quickly. Honestly, it's the reason why I think it's kind of stupid when people make the comments of like, no, the reason why we have a Second Amendment is because of the tyrannical government. It's like, the tyrannical government would like crush you in a second. That's why we're not going to have a civil war. That's why the whole Second Amendment, because of a tyrannical government, is kind of stupid. It's also why we're not going to have a revolution in the way that people think that revolution can happen. The government has too much power and they have a monopoly on violence, and we live in a police state. That's not going to happen. Yes, exactly. You can only fight it at the state level, and you can only fight it through really the way economic warfare and boycotts and political maneuvers, a lot of which having to do with money and technology. Tim Pool is a hack, so he loves to fantasize about it because he knows that even if there were some type of war, he would never participate. He'd be hiding out in his bunker. He literally has a bunker, you guys. He like actually has a bunker, literally. So not only would he be literally hiding out in his bunker, in his compound, he's a coward who loves to foment it, but he would never, he just loves to foment it for money because he's a hack. Tim Pool, you know how we were talking last week about, in the last stream, about how annoying it is that people throw the term grifter around all the time because it actually has like a specific meaning? Tim Pool actually would be somebody that would fall under the definition of grifter because he will change his positions for money. When it was popular to be anti-Republican because we were coming off of the Bush administration, then he was a progressive. Then he jumped on the Trump train. Like that, yes, he is a grifter. And he loves the Civil War bit because he's a dork and he loves to live in fantasy. And he's also a grifter. And he's a coward. And he's a cosplayer. He loves cosplay. He loves fantasy. So yes, this combines all the elements of that. Being a grifter, being into cosplay and fantasy and the Avengers, and hiding out in his compound. So yes, he's definitely meets that definition. I mean, he literally jumped on the Zionist train after meeting with Netanyahu. Never forget that. Never forget that he had a private, sexy meeting with Netanyahu and then came out and was defending the Israeli regime. So, yes.
On that, there's a reason why you say it, because it's very profitable for your business.
Not necessarily. But we have 1,600 episodes of just IRL.
There comes a point where people stop taking your predictions seriously.
Are you going to make an argument, or are you mad at me?
I'm not mad at you.
Okay, then let's make an argument about whether or not we are tracking. No. If you're making an argument, you don't like my thumbnails, or you don't, you say my name over and over again.
I'm saying that you say bullshit in order to get money. But what
I
really think is,
let me ask you a question.
The predictions.
Let me ask you a question you can't answer.
I will agree with you that there's increased polarization. I would attribute a lot of that to people being specifically online.
Let me ask.
There's a lot less interaction with people that are in different camps.
Let me. You defer.
You can say that.
Let me ask you a question.
War every fucking year, and it doesn't happen. And
I never said there was.
It just hasn't happened yet.
Let me ask you a question.
Or if it does happen, you say, "See, I've had it all."
Let me ask you a question.
You are the same thing as like the Christian rapture people who say that the rapture's coming every fucking year, and when it doesn't happen,
do you want a soapbox? Do you want me to get you a soapbox?
It's really
I can leave. You want me to go?
It's really easy to do what you do. It's really easy to do what you do. Like you literally just say,
Civil War is happening next year. Civil War is happening next year. It's coming. Make sure you subscribe to Timcast.
The guy is right in that he is a total grifter, and it is profitable for him to stoke that kind of fear. Yes, like I said, we were talking last stream about how I was saying how I find it annoying that people throw the term around grifter so much because it has a very specific definition. And when you throw it around all the time, like any word, it starts to lose its meaning. Tim Pool does fit that definition because he will change what he believes depending on how profitable it can be for him or where the winds are blowing or where the market is or who's paying him. Tim Pool was literally getting paid by dark Russian money from an oligarch, and then he was criticizing Ukraine. Girl, please. Yeah, exactly. And they'll just move with the wind. And he does it. The guy's right in that he puts it in all his thumbnails. He's always talking about it. He wants to wax poetic about it all the time, even though it's like, I'm sorry. Again, this is just a fantasy for you because you're a grifter and it makes you a lot of money. And also you're a dork. And so you're always fantasizing that you're going to be some hero in a battle. To me, when it comes to Tim Pool, it's both. He is both an actual dork and a cosplayer who loves to fantasize that he's going to be some hero in an epic battle. He's going to be an Avenger, but then also he's a grifter and he knows that that's a clickable thumbnail and people are going to jump on that and people are going to get all, they're going to, he can capitalize on it and he can start drama and fearmonger and get people afraid and tell them that they need to go to Patriot Box and buy a bunch of food for their underground bunker. And he says all of this from his rich perch in his compound in West Virginia. But also, what a pathetic coward. This bitch meets with Netanyahu, literally hides. Remember how he said, it was Chatham House rules. He said it was Chatham House rules when they met with Netanyahu and couldn't talk about it. Oh, I'm sorry. We have Chatham House rules. That's why we can't. Why is my screen freezing? So, really embarrassing. Meeting with Netanyahu off the record and then doing propaganda for the Israeli regime. Like, he actually is such a grifter. And then he will move wherever the wind blows. I'm telling you right now, if in 2028 the right wing is totally destroyed, like at least for that election cycle, he will go there. He'll go wherever the most money can be made. But also, what a coward. He loves to foment hate and war talk and all of this stuff, but then he can't even sit through a debate. He walks off like a bitch. Yes, Bodhi. Asking someone to make an argument is diabolical. I know, it's amazing. Again, if you've ever watched him debate, he's really bad at it. He's really bad at it. But this is actually next level bitch shit because you agreed to this knowing that you were going to be. The show is literally called Surrounded. And you went on this knowing that you were going to be debating this, but you walk off like a bitch. What a coward. What a coward. Oh my gosh. Hey, listen, say what you will about Candace Owens. Like, I hate to have to defend her again, but she sat with that loser Andrew Wilson clown for over 3 hours and didn't run away. Tim Pool called her the C word. But then he runs away after 3 minutes like a little bitch. Absolute coward. Typical. 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 Gotta watch the end one more time. Big mad.
I'm gonna get you a soapbox.
It's really
I can leave.
easy.
It's
really easy to do what you do. It's really easy to do what you do. Like, you literally just say,
Civil war is happening next year. Civil War is happening next year. It's coming. Make sure you subscribe to Timcast.
One of the funniest community notes I ever read. One of the funniest community notes that I ever read was one that said, like, all it said was Tim Pool is bald. Which, by the way, no shade to anybody who is bald. We love our bald kings. It's that he's so fucking fake about it. That's what I don't like. Thanks for the high five, Saito. And thank you for the flower. Exactly. Like, I'll show it to you guys since we've been talking about it. Just the clip of him not knowing anything. It's like actually so embarrassing. Like, how do you go into a debate? And this guy always acts like he's so cool. He's always like, I'm so cool. I'm a base sexist. And I sit in my lair. And I smoke in my dark lair. Why do all these guys always try to have these like Beauty and the Beast layers? Like Michael Knowles. Like they try to have these Beauty and the Beast dark layers like the Beast did with the Room with the Rose. It's so embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. It's like, I'm sorry. This same guy couldn't even open like a pickle jar. There was like a clip of him pathetically not even being able to open a pickle jar. Actually so embarrassing. Imagine thinking you're cool for calling all women the R word and then you get your ass handed to you in a debate. Like, this is just pathetic. This is just pathetic.
Because listen, that's my opinion. When you tweeted Erica's too retarded to kill her husband, would you like to explain how you developed your evidence, your positive evidence for the fact that Erica was retarded?
Yeah, sure. So I just think all women are retarded.
Oh, so you're allowed to just say stuff. Who knew? So and what, and by the way,
me.
and
Like,
what dramatically transformed your opinion of Erica after
Pathetic. Like, actually pathetic. Just all women are. Hold on. I'm finding the clip. No. Candace Owens. Oh. Oh, is this one? Okay. I figured I would just play it because I know I keep talking about it, and it's actually so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. This is the based guy who says all women are stupid and all women are the R word and tries to be like an openly based misogynist, but like can't open a pickle jar. It's like, you don't get to do the misogyny shtick of like, I'm so much better than women, I put them in their place, and then get constantly owned by them. Is this a fetish?
That's the question. You're just not following it enough.
It seems pretty like if you're going to engage and you're going to say the evidence is overwhelming that Tyler Robinson is guilty, I just think that you should. Like,
right.
Can you tell me one?
Then let's do the counter. You can really, hang on. This is a great gotcha.
No. You just got to ask me, play clips out of context, put me in the hot seat. So please just answer the question.
This is fair. Name all 7 since you've been following the case.
Okay, sure. You name one.
Yeah, you named all 7.
I'm happy to do that, but can you name one?
I think he's been charged with murder.
That's actually incorrect.
Okay, great. Now name all 7.
He doesn't even. This is like
name all 7.
And I
can you name all 7?
I can.
Then do it.
Sure, you don't have to
do it. No, do it. I'll count them. Go ahead.
You don't have to put your fingers up.
Okay, hang on. Name them.
Yeah, sure.
Name them.
The first charge is aggravated murder because that's what carries a death sentence in the state of Utah. No, that's not. That is literally not murder.
Okay.
And so just for people, I don't have to do it in a time limit. There's nothing going on. And just to explain to people the difference of why that really matters and shows that he doesn't actually care about this at all is because aggravated murder, it's narrowly defined and because it carries.
She's right about when she calls him out for using a false sense of urgency when like there's no limit to their debate, but he's acting like there's a false sense of urgency and then also chronically interrupting, which is a classic Zionist tactic of talk over people so that they can't make their point.
A death sentence. I'm going to answer the question.
Okay,
You're just going to recognize that your strategy of thinking that people are intimidated when you try to put a time constraint doesn't work, and you'll be better the next time you debate someone.
I got it. Give me the other ones.
The more you cut me off, the longer I'll take. Do you want to just wait for me to finish of why that's a big difference so that people don't walk away?
No, I just want you to list the charges.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. You just don't get to pretend that there's a time constraint for me to do that.
Well, how long does it take you to list 7 charges?
Because I'm speaking. You just got to.
It sounds like you're just delaying it because you don't know them.
I know all 7 of them.
Then
and I'm going to say
them
again, because you're going to get embarrassed. You don't have to rush this. I'm also showing an example of a very flawed debate strategy. I actually am under no time constraint.
I got one.
Great. The second charge is the felony discharge of a weapon. The next 2 charges are for obstruction of justice.
Okay.
The next 2 charges are for witness tampering. And
what's the specific charges, though?
That is them. Obstruction of justice, obstruction of justice, witness tampering.
Okay. And there's no other specifics to them.
Well, I can tell you why he's being charged.
No, just the charges and then 7.
Yeah. See, the bad thing is when you try to be an a-hole and it doesn't work.
What's the 7th?
The last charge is violence in front of a minor.
Okay. Got it. So then he's being charged with murder. You just say aggravated murder. That's the distinction. You just want to.
It's a massive. It's like you cannot say murder versus aggravated murder.
Distinction.
This gets to the entire crux of why him being up for the death sentence. And I actually find the defense's filing about why this is not aggravated to be very compelling of why it's not aggravated murder. I actually think that the state was going to even try to pull this off. They should have charged him with just murder. And then I do also, again, want to stress to audiences that debate strategy, it's some sport. I think he thinks it's a blood sport. It's not. It's about being right and being principled when you're engaging. And you can make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time, but at least be genuine in pretending that you care about this case enough to know one of the 7 charges that are up against Tyler Robinson when you say the evidence is overwhelming that he's guilty. If you would like to move to final statements, I'm fine. I want to make sure Andrew has had the time that he has requested.
I think your team would like to pull up the 7 charges that he just asked you about. If you guys want to pull that up just to confirm the 7 you went through. Can you guys zoom in a little bit? For
aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, obstruction of justice, which is counts 3 and 4, 5 and 6, tampering with a witness. And count 7
violent
I said offense in the presence of a minor.
Child.
Yeah. So 5, 6, tampering witness, 3rd-degree felony. Now I did notice something. I just was curious about. If I'm just wondering.
Trying to change
when you pulled out your phone just before you asked that question, did somebody by chance text you that question?
You can check my phone.
I'm just curious.
No, you can absolutely not. I have not had one communication with a single person, not even my producers who are in there this whole time we were here. You want to check my phone? I'm happy to do it because you're just going to get double embarrassed. Where's my phone?
You want to see it?
I'm just curious. Yeah.
You can literally do that. Here you go. PBD, you're the moderator. Take it.
Let's
see if anyone was.
What is so humiliating is that he tried to double down and go, let's check her phone, and then humiliate himself again. Like, what? That was literally just adding to the humiliation. Oh, yeah, somebody was texting it to you on their phone, and they didn't? Oh my gosh, bro. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Anybody, I'm sorry, if you listen to this guy, you're pathetic. Anybody listening to this guy for any reason is just embarrassing.
Texted at all during this debate.
All right.
About the violent charges or anything.
I'm looking through this. You give me permission.
You
so
have full permission to go through my phone. I don't need to
So
cheat.
the last one has nothing to do with it. It's just a compliment.
Mhm.
I haven't even read my text messages.
That's
so
a compliment.
he's reading them.
You're okay. You'll give me permission.
Yes.
I'm just going to read 3 of them
Yes.
to 11:32 because after that, I don't need to read it.
And another text. Could have been Telegram. Could have been something.
All
like
I
that.
have is Signal. You can check that too. I only have Signal. Telegram I used in Russia.
Okay.
And that was it. I downloaded it for
I'll
Russia.
take your word for it.
Yeah.
Then-
I don't need to like, I
Okay.
deeply care about this case. I don't need to pretend
I get
to
it.
know
If you
stuff that
deeply
I
care
don't
about
know.
the case, I
Yeah.
just, I have my other question is about
Mhm.
the steakhouse receipt.
Unbelievably embarrassing. Unbelievably embarrassing. The one thing I'll say that that I can admire about this guy and other hacks like him is the ability to utterly humiliate yourself and then just keep going like it ain't no thing. Yeah, the shamelessness, exactly. I would be embarrassed. I would be embarrassed to be such a hack, to be so shameless and professionally wrong like that. I would be embarrassed. I would be embarrassed to have no credibility. I would be embarrassed to be such a fucking hack. But no, this guy just moves on like it ain't no thing. It's incredible. It is incredible, bro. It is incredible. Correct. This would be correct. The unearned confidence of a mediocre white man, unchallenged, undefeated. Sorry, that's what I meant. Undefeated. Okay. And then no, the next one. No, totally. Like, you don't have to like someone to like acknowledge that they're talented or that they're smart. Like, Candace Owens is not stupid. She's not stupid. She's a smart woman. That's why she went into the whole right-wing grift in the first place. You know? That's how you get in. That's how you make a lot of money. Do you think if Candace Owens like would have just been like a liberal like she was, she started out as a liberal, she saw that that wasn't really getting her anywhere, so she did the I'm black and I'm going to trash black people right-wing routine. That is what they do. The right wing loves minorities to trash other minorities. They do it with black people. They do it with queer people. They do it with trans people. They do it with gay people. They do it with Mexicans. They do it with other Latinos. They do it with women, cis women. Find people that are willing to advocate against their own interests and throw their own communities under the bus and pay them fuck tons of money. It's literally why Ben Shapiro hired her. And he loved it when she was punching down at trans people and when she was punching down at black people. It was when she turned around and started criticizing Israel that then all of a sudden she became unacceptable. So let's just be clear about that. Let's just be clear about that. She was made popular and created by the right wing because she was willing to trash Black people, trash women, trash queer people, trash trans people. And then when she turned around and started criticizing Israel, then they were like, oh no, not like that. Not like that. No, you gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. We love it when you people punch down their own communities, but not criticism of Israel. Get out of here. You're fired. That's what happened. That's what happened with Candace Owens. She's obviously not a stupid person. She was obviously a smart business person. Yeah, that's what happened. And I think that's why there are some people on the right, like the further right, that criticize Israel before her, that resent her, because they think you got help from Zionists to help your career. And then you pivoted once people, you know, started to also criticize the Israeli regime. And I get that in a way, because it is true that there were a lot of people that never were even able to have careers because criticism of Israel would destroy your career. Looking at people like her and seeing how her career was heavily funded by Zionists, like Turning Point and other Zionists, got her career started. Ben Shapiro. And then now she's huge. However, it still took somewhat of a risk for her to criticize Israel, because she was one of the first people on the right to do so when this all started happening. So anyway, the point is, of what Bodhi was saying, many things can be true at once. You can acknowledge that Candace Owens is talented and is smart and not agree with and not support her shit. You know what I mean? And still also recognize that she profited off and got her start in exactly that ecosystem. Those things can both be true. Candace Owens, I think, is smart. And she also is very talented. And, but it's, again, also true that the reason why we know who she is because she was able to rise up through the ranks and get in that ecosystem through Zionist funding and trashing marginalized communities that they loved up until she went for them, went for their precious death cult, the Israeli regime. That's what they all do. I mean, basically. So, okay. Speaking of hacks like Andrew Wilson, which, again, you're embarrassing if you listen to this guy or take him seriously. This guy is such a cock. I thought women were so stupid. Then why is he getting owned by a woman? Andrew Wilson is like racist and thinks Black people are stupid and thinks women are stupid. And you just got your clock cleaned by a Black woman. Embarrassing. It must be a fetish. It must be a fetish. Okay, so let's go to this hack because we only have 15 minutes left. We only have 15 minutes left, so I gotta get to this hack. Okay, so here's Hakeem Jeffries responding to the quote socialist takeover, LOL. This country is so fucked. Like, we're so far to the right in this country that they call like a few reformists advocating for some progressive policy as socialist takeover.
Do democratic social...
It's just so bad. This woman's a fucking hack too. This woman was laughing it up with Stephen fucking Miller. But again, that's the reason why she's there. In the same way that we say these people, including Candace Owens, rise through the ranks of media because of their willingness to do the work of the right wing or the Israeli regime, throw their own communities under the bus. Same thing goes for our trash bag media. You think Kirsten Welker, whatever the fuck, is oh, somebody asked why 15 minutes. What Bodie said exactly. Unless we get 2 more super chats. Basically, no, it has to meet at least one of my goals. So I set 2 on each channel. If one of the channels meets the goal, then I extend the live. Let me look. I haven't looked. So I do it based on either one of these. Wait, where is it? Yeah. So I do it based on one of these. So as long as one of the channels, like, or actually it's mostly this channel, meets the goal, I don't require the other channel meet the goal, just this one. Otherwise, then that's usually when I'll end it. If it does meet the goal, then I just extend the live stream. Oops, I just clicked off. Thank you, Boney, by the way, for the super chat. No more, Boney. Thank you. No. So, yeah, but anyway, that's how those people rise in the ranks. And it's just the fact, because it's like, yes, we can say that Candace Owens is talented. She is smart. There are a lot of talented people. There are a lot of smart people. That is not enough to get in the game. You have to be talented, yes, to some degree. You have to be smart. You also have to be willing to do shit like that. And a lot of people just aren't willing to do shit like that, understandably. Achy sleep. Oh, I get. Okay, so let's go to Hakeem Jeffries. We got to watch this clip. But Kristen Welker, to be clear, is one of them hacks. Okay? It's her willingness to suck the boot of the establishment and not be a real journalist while she's sitting there. You think she's the best person that could be in that job? No, absolutely not. She's there because she's a bootlicker to power, and she'll sit there and kiki it up with fucking Stephen Miller at a party. That's why she's there, because she's a fucking hack. You don't hate our media enough. You really don't.
Do Democratic Socialists belong in the Democratic Party, Leader Jeffries?
Well, what I can say is that I do not support defunding the police. I do not support open borders. I do not support abolishing the Senate. We're focused on actually solving problems that hardworking American taxpayers want us to solve, which is to lower the high cost of living in a situation where life is far too expensive.
Notice how he never says anything. Notice that. Notice that he never says anything. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't say shit. It's all platitudes. We got to lower the cost of living for hardworking families. Kitchen table issues. Okay, what? Oh, no. No. Do you support Medicare for all? That would lower the cost of living. No. Do you support taxing the rich? No. Do you support cracking down on corporate price gouging? No. Do you support on banning private equity from being able to buy residential housing? No. Okay, so then what do you mean? You don't support anything that would actually lower the cost of living for people. So then what do you mean when you say lower the cost of living? And the answer is he doesn't mean anything. He doesn't mean anything. They're just platitudes. It's just word salad.
In this country, that's the Democratic agenda. That's what House Democrats are fighting to achieve.
House Democrats are fighting to achieve what agenda exactly? What exactly agenda? Policy? What policy agenda are you fighting to achieve? What? Am I losing my fucking mind? Am I losing my fucking mind? How come no one else seems to fucking notice this or have a problem with it? This is insanity. This guy's supposed to be the fucking leader that they're all going to support. What? He doesn't say anything. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't believe in anything. He's not running on anything. He's not saying he's going to do anything. This is the agenda that the House Democrats support. What agenda? What agenda? You don't support abolishing ICE. You don't support cracking down on corporate price gouging. You don't support any of this. So what is it that you support? What are you running on? Oh my gosh. You're literally not saying anything. His incredible ability to be able to say nothing.
Do you think, though, that there is room in the Democratic Party under the tent of the Democrat?
But what's so crazy to me, too, is that nobody ever follows up. That's what makes me feel like I'm losing my mind. Like, I know she's a fucking hack, but, like, it's amazing to me that nobody ever follows up. No one's ever like, okay, what do you mean by that? What is your agenda? You keep saying the agenda of the Democratic Party when we take over the House. What is the agenda? What is it? What is the support? What do you support? What is the agenda for policy? Policy, what is the agenda? That is the agenda of the House Democrats to lower the cost for Americans. How? How? You know who also said they were going to lower the cost of living? Trump. And here's what I want to know for Democrats who support this idiot, who support this speak and spell, who support this NPC, this charismaless NPC. When Trump was running for president and they said they were going to take on the cost of living and they would never provide specifics, Democrats and voters rightfully understood that they were full of shit. They would go, how? Remember that viral clip that went viral of the guy that was like, the Trump voter that was like at an event where Trump was on the phone. He was like, how are you going to lower the cost of housing? Because my kids are really struggling. And Trump just went on this rant where he didn't say anything and didn't address the question. That's what Hakeem Jeffries is doing. And Democrats rightfully understood how embarrassing it was and how meaningless it was that the Republicans ran on cost of living with no fucking policy proposals. They thought drill baby drill was going to address the cost of living. And yet, when Hakeem Jeffries says, we're going to lower the cost of living, that's our agenda, and then doesn't give any specifics. Not only does he not give any specifics, he does the opposite of that. He does the opposite of that. He says he doesn't support anything, doesn't support Medicare for all, doesn't support defunding the Israeli regime, doesn't support cutting the Pentagon budget, doesn't support cutting the police budget, doesn't support cracking down on private equity and corporate price gouging. Then what is it? You don't support any of that. So what do you mean you're going to lower the cost of living? How? But no one ever follows up. No one ever follows up. I can't. You guys, I can't.
Democratic Party for Democratic Socialists? Is it big enough?
Well, listen, I don't support the DSA agenda as has been articulated by the DSA itself. Now, you're going to have individual members who have been elected in Democratic primaries. And if they are elected in the general in November, will be part of the House Democratic Caucus. It's going to be a broad caucus. There will be progressives, there will be New Dems, there will be Blue Dogs.
Bro, I can't. Like, I actually can't.
Legislation from 2013 to 2021. You've not co-sponsored. All right, let's move on to Medicare for All. You co-sponsored Medicare for All legislation from 2013 to 2021. You've not co-sponsored it since you became Democratic leader. Will you put...
Let me point out why. because again, they only do that to virtue signal literally. It's just like the way that they constantly say things like, oh, we'll look into doing this and this and that policy when they feel that they can get away with it. So it was easy for him to co-sponsor Medicare for All from 2013 to 2021 because he knew he was never going to be actually asked to vote on it. So it was easy. Oh yeah, I support Medicare for All. But when it came to him actually becoming the leader, actually getting in a position of power, he's like, oh, no, I don't support that. Of course not. Of course not. Which is why a lot of blue MAGA are so bad faith when they'll be like, oh, you know, Democrats do support this. It's like, no, they don't. They just say that when they're in the minority and they know there's no threat of it becoming law. The second it actually becomes a threat, that something not even becoming law, that it might even get a vote, then they're like, no. Seriously, like, learn the tricks. Like, but again, these blue MAGA people will just be like, but they said it.
Medicare for All up for a vote if you become Speaker?
Well, listen, these are all conversations that the House Democratic Caucus is going to have. Right now, we're focused on November 3rd, not January 3rd. What we are promising the American people is that we're going to fight to make health care affordable for every single American. And we know there's a lot of damage that Republicans...
So we're not going to do anything. Because now, actually, if you're focused on November 3rd, you actually should be focused on an agenda. Actually, you know what? He makes an interesting admission there when I don't think he realizes he made that admission. By saying, I don't want to talk about Medicare for All because we want to focus on November 3rd, he's basically saying our only focus is winning. Not an agenda. Yeah, literally, it's like Trump concepts of a plan. No, but really, like, he's actually kind of telling on himself there, because what he's saying is we're only focused on winning. We're not focusing on an agenda. We're not focusing actually on policy or implementing policy. We're not focused on that. We're focused on winning, and then we'll talk about it. So you just care about winning for the sake of winning. You care about getting the House for the sake of having the House so that you can have power. You want to win the House so that you can have the gavel and have power, but you're not actually focused on an agenda. You're just focusing on winning. What is the point of winning if you don't have an agenda? What is the point of winning if you don't have an agenda? Also, lower the cost of healthcare. Bro, that's not an agenda. Lowering the cost of healthcare with no fucking agenda or plan, you're a joke. You're a joke. You're a joke. We're going to focus on lowering the cost of healthcare and lowering the cost of living with literally no plan. Literally not even a proposal. Not even a proposal. They're vague on purpose. They're vague on purpose because they have no plans. They have no plans. They have no proposals. They have no agenda. So they're vague. They're vague on purpose. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. If the Democrats are going to vote for him to be Speaker, and this is what you're running on, literally no agenda, they don't deserve to take the House. They will take the House because Trump's so unpopular and Republicans are so unpopular that they'll take the House. But they don't deserve to if this is going to be the shit they're doing. You've got no agenda. You've got no policy proposals. All you're saying is some vague bullshit on purpose of we're going to lower the cost of healthcare and lower the cost of living. Nah. You're a joke. Why should they be rewarded with power? And why should they be if everybody's going to vote for them to be Speaker? This is a joke.
Have done that we've got to restore and repair. For instance, Republicans have enacted the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. More than
Isn't it funny that they never, ever say that it should be built upon and actually do something to build upon it? It's always, let's just give you a few more crumbs of what the Republicans destroyed. The Republicans destroyed something. Let's give you back a few more crumbs, kind of, some of what they took away, not even the whole thing. Visionless Fox. They're like the most visionless Fox ever.
Or so has been cut from Medicaid, and what you're going to have is about 14 million Americans.
Could he talk any
access
slower?
to healthcare.
Do you personally support Medicare for all? Do you personally support Medicare for all?
No, as you indicated, I haven't co-sponsored the Medicare for all legislation that has been introduced over the last several years. I do think we need to figure out how to fix our broken healthcare system and then build something better to fix our co-sponsored the Medicare for all. Then $1 trillion or so has been cut from Medicaid, and what you're going to have is about 14 million Americans lose access to health care.
Do you personally support Medicare for all? Do you personally support Medicare for all?
No, as you indicated, I haven't co-sponsored the Medicare for all legislation that has been introduced over the last several years. I do think we need to figure out how to fix our broken healthcare system and then build something better once we repair the damage that has been done. Now that will—
Oh, you mean like building back better? Like building back better? No, you know what's going to happen? And this is what people need to fucking get, okay? This is what people really need to get, and then I'm going to wrap it up, okay? But before I do, I need to say this. This is what people don't seem to get. By allowing them to get away with having no vision, you empower Republicans. Let me say that again. By allowing people like Apex Shakur to have no vision and to be a corrupt hack like this and not to believe in anything and not to run on anything and not to have an agenda, you are empowering the Republicans. Because what always happens, and we're going right back into the pattern, we're going right back into the cycle, is that Democrats will say, we're going to stand up to Trump and we're going to lower the cost of living and we're going to lower cost of healthcare. And at most, they will restore temporarily a little bit of what the Republicans destroyed, only for the Republicans to come roaring back and destroy more. That has been the pattern. That has been the pattern. The Democrats come in with this mealy-mouthed, pussy-ass bitch agenda that doesn't actually have anything in it, where they say, let's tinker around the edges and maybe restore a little bit of what the Republicans have previously destroyed, if that, and then they tinker around the edges a little bit. That makes really no material difference in people's lives, and if it does, it's temporary, and then they take it away like the child tax credit, and then voters get mad, they get depressed, they stay home. Republicans actually campaign on the fact that the Democrats didn't do anything, and then the fascists come roaring back, and then they just destroy more. They tear down more every single time they're in power. And every single time they're in power and they tear more down, the Democrats never come back with, we're going to fucking overhaul this shit, like in a serious way. Like, we're going to fucking New Deal style this shit. They come back and go, oh, I know you really destroyed all of this, but maybe we can have a Voting Rights Act one day. Maybe we can have some tax credits for housing. They deserve to lose if this is going to be the bullshit that they're going to continue to do. I mean, this is ridiculous. I have not heard what Claire Valdez has said about Hakeem Jeffries yet. Claire Valdez, the one who just won in my district. I hope she doesn't vote for him. And I don't know if she's answered it yet. She did get asked about it. She said she was going to have conversations with people. I'd like to have that conversation with her, because I want to know. Are you planning on voting for him for speaker? This is not acceptable. This is ridiculous. Anyway, that's going to conclude today's stream, fam. Thank you so much for joining. Everybody give a shout out to old Boney Bird, my incredible mod, my wonderful mod. We love you, Boney. Thank you, Boney. Reminder again that you can support my channel by becoming a member on here, on YouTube, on Twitch, on through Ko-Fi or Patreon to support my work and to support my channel, or tip me on Cash App or Venmo. You can also follow me on every single platform through my Linktree, and also join the Discord if you want updates on content. Thank you so much, Ben, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much to Ben and everybody who gave super chats during the stream. They definitely deserve to lose. I mean, especially if you're going to vote for Hakeem Jeffries, yeah, you're not serious. You're not serious. So you shouldn't get rewarded for that unseriousness. Thank you so much again for the super chat, Ben. Thank you to everybody who gave me super chats. We love you, Boney. Yes. Shout out to Boney, the amazing mod. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you to all my channel members, all of you who are channel members. Thank you so much. Thank you to all my Twitch subscribers. Thank you to all my patrons and my Ko-Fi members. You guys help a lot. And thank you again to everybody who gave super chats. I love you guys. Please make sure to follow me on all the other platforms. Upscrolled, YouTube. Yeah, Upscrolled is separate. It's the only one, not my Linktree. Thank you, Boney. And everything else is in my Linktree. Please follow me everywhere. Please make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to help my content and help my channel grow regarding something that doesn't cost any money, just watching the content that I put out all the way through and sharing it helps a lot, and interacting with it helps a lot, because there's no Zionist funders over here, fam. So, yeah, I love you all. Free Palestine, abolish ICE, no Hakeem Jeffries for speaker. Let's fucking go. I love you all, and I will see you on Thursday. Bye, everybody.